I was in downtown LA a few weeks ago, January 2023, and I was there with a colleague. We were there to look at retail and do a number of other business related things. And he said, we've got to get to see Bodega or Bodega, however you pronounce it. And it's located in Row in downtown LA. And we were going there for a kind of a food festival anyway. So it was pretty interesting to use the opportunity to get to it. There's no other way to describe this other than to take you there through the photos because they tell the story. So here it is. We're in Row. We are walking along these various little shops and we couldn't find Bodega. We're looking for it and we knew it was in this area. And, I'm looking at it on Google Maps and it's here. This is the entrance to the store. And we're thinking, what are we getting into? What is this? Because we had no knowledge. We hadn't done a lot of research other than the fact that if you're interested in retail and you're in Los Angeles, going to Bodega is a really useful experience. So we step through the front door. But before we do that, I want to jump ahead to my research after the visit and then take you back to the store. This is from their website. So they started Bodega in the early 2000s, and the founders were struggling artists and they couldn't find meaningful work. And there was a guy who was DJing and producing events, and he was looking for work as well. So they got to 2006, and Bodega was opened as a concept fusing art, fashion, design, and counterculture. They are about the creative expression of youth culture, and they're giving fashion designers an outlet. Their mission is to empower creative expression within the youth culture, as you can see on the screen there. So let's go back. That's the entrance. But I didn't know the mission. I didn't know the culture before I got to the store. So I stepped through the entrance, and that's what we see, just through the entrance. Okay, well, a bodega in New York is like a corner store, like an Aussie milk bar, but kind of not as nice, if I could say that. So you step in the front door and you see these boxes, what look like boxes of produce, boxes of bananas and pineapples and things like that. But you step through one more door and then you see this really funky, clever shelving with amazing shoes, bespoke shoes, really thoughtfully made shoes and clever fixturing, this timber fixturing that's fixed to the wall. It's not going to go anywhere, with underneath lighting really making the products pop. Incredible. Everywhere you look around this store, every angle you turn to, there's something different to see. And then you go up the stairs and you look down and there's an adult shop within the shop, but it's not really an adult shop. We'll get to that. On this mezzanine level, it welcomes you. You're going to find knickknacks, home goods, OCD, incense, bongs, and more. Here's an old kind of side table with some drawers, and there's some plants there. Very spaced out. There's a couch for you to sit in just to relax and enjoy yourself. Not too much in the way of products. And it very much fits what they talk about in their mission statement and their culture and their focus, being a place for youth brands. I'll go back to what I have said in a few other videos. Bodega is very much about the curated experience. So if you look at this photo here, it's a retail display for sure, but it's some pretty simple pegboard. There's nothing special about the pegboard. You've got a couple of pegs here with something between them, and they're holding up these bandanas. You've got this hoodie. Now, I happen to know the brand. That hoodie is going to be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You've got the bags, you've got the cap, you've got the socks. And they've got this set up so that you go and look at the product. Then when you want to try it on, they'll bring out the size that you want, and then they'll give you something brand new. So this is just for display to draw your attention, which I think is pretty interesting. They've got some old metal shelving that they're using for displaying product as well, and they've got their own branding on there. You've got an old suitcase that's being used for displaying sweaters. There's another couch. You've got this beautifully hewn timber turned into a shelf. You've got gorgeous jackets, really high-end items. There's another example of how they've created this very simple pegboard shelving. They put it together themselves. It doesn't look overly thought out, but in fact, it's incredibly thought out for what they want to display and how they want to display it, and the market they're trying to connect to. Really, really clever. And they're very focused on this human-made brand that comes out of Japan. These sweaters, for example, are made in Japan. You can see this is a Capital brand, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. There was a jacket there that I like the look of that was $1,700 US, just shocked me. Again, they're not using anything that is designed by shop fitters for their fixtures. They've got these old crates that they're using here to hold the product. Very careful, very clever. They've got old industrial level things that they've brought in, that they've found or purchased at auctions or whatever, and they're using those to give the place some connection, some culture, some infusion of character, if you like. This adult shop is literally just a shop facing, they've got a RuPaul's Drag Race reference there. Reading is fundamental, of course, you can't buy adult products at the adult shop, but it's there just to, again, give character to the business itself. We go downstairs, and then within Bodega is a Bodega, which is this shop that kind of sells all sorts of Bodega type lines. You've got personal care things, you've got some beverages, you've got clothes washing detergent, dishwashing detergent, all sorts of stuff like that. You've got a whole bunch of stickers, you've got a phone booth that you can use in there. And that is just a little kind of shop within a shop that's within this sort of concept situation. They kind of use this line of "thank you for copying," which connects back to the pitch that they're trying to make to the shoppers. They've also got, at several places through the store, things like, the canned pineapple, fruit cocktail, coconut milk, enchilada sauce, things that you would see in a Bodega. But here they've got them on shelving above the fashion items, which again fits very much with the kind of style they're going with the business. They've got a women's and kids section, which again looks like a store within a store. Pretty cool. And then as I'm starting to head out, I see this crunched up 44-gallon drum. And, to me, that kind of speaks to everything that they're about, because this has been bought for the purpose. It is placed there thoughtfully to add character to the business that they've created. And Bodega is very much about that. It's providing a space where a whole lot of different artists and fashion designers and others are able to bring their products to life and display them in a way that's interesting and appealing, in a way that can give the shopper a different experience. We spent more than half an hour in there. There were people who had come from quite some distance to get into this business and have a look at it. In the half an hour that we were there, I would say there were probably, 40 or 50 people through the shop. There were people spending money, certainly a younger audience, and they are very much enjoying the experience. Even if you don't think you're somebody who would want to buy something at Bodega, if you're in LA and you've got an opportunity to get to downtown LA, I would say visiting Bodega is well worth it, because it's a really, really different retail experience. And to me, it spoke to the curation of product, it spoke to visual merchandising, and it spoke to knowing who you are, what you stand for, and then leaning into that and embracing it. I found it really worthwhile. And, it was really interesting visit to a retail situation that I'd never seen anywhere on my travels before. I hope you found it interesting to watch as well. Thank you.